Okay, welcome, welcome. Today we have another series in Legion Cup Winter NA, Group Stage Round 2. This Today we have Kyboi versus ieLLiMo, so a returning player, also another Group D match. That's exciting. They are currently doing the map vetoes. So we're going to let them do that. And we are going to take just a quick look over at, whoops, that's not the right tab. How about this tab? Yeah, so this match is in Group D. Like I said, this is still Group Stage 2. Tonight we have Kyboi and ieLLiMo. Both of them already have won a series, so they're both on their way to qualifying for the playoffs. So congratulations to both of them so far. Winning a second series is going to put you really far ahead in the chance of qualifying. It's not technically guaranteed 2-1. You can have a three-way tie at 2-1 if they all beat each other. But I think just by looking at MMRs, I think you definitely are going to favor Kyboi to beat Franz, because I think that's almost like a 1k MMR difference. So if Kyboi wins this match, probably is going to get out of the group first at 3-0. If ieLLiMo ends up winning, I don't remember exactly what Captain Canucks MMR is. I mean, if Kyboi ends up winning, ieLLiMo is definitely going to want to be able to beat Captain Canuck in order to advance. Let me just let them know that I am ready whenever. So for the record, Kyboi vetoed Death Aura and Romanticide, and ieLLiMo vetoed Oxide and Lightshade. And you can hear that noise, which means we are getting into the game. So let's go ahead and go over to that game screen. So this is going to be the first PVZ that I've casted in this tournament. And spawning down in the bottom left corner of Pillars of Gold, playing for Alpha X, also playing as the yellow Zerg, we have Kyboi. They both got the emotes going on in the GLHF, so I appreciate that. Spawning in the top right corner of Pillars of Gold, playing as the Green Protoss. For Platinum Heroes, we have ieLLiMo. So I looked at the MMRs before the game, and ieLLiMo right now is sitting around 4.6, and Kyboi sitting around an even 5,000. So again, that's definitely favors Kyboi, but 400 MMR difference, that's definitely not unheard of for a victory. Especially, you know, the way your MMR can fluctuate. Maybe on a good day, this would be a good day for ieLLiMo and a bad day for Kyboi. Maybe it's more like a 4-7 versus 4-9 sort of thing. And that's definitely closer to even. But we'll just have to see how it plays out. So Kyboi opting for the standard hatch timing, not going to do any sort of early pool 12 pool shenanigans, which I know have been pretty popular ever since our Oh my gosh, why am I blanking on his name? Our Dark Lord Lambo, that's what I was trying to say. Has reintroduced it into the current meta. But very standard opening so far. Everybody has scouted everything. Everything looks kosher to me. Nothing too exciting yet. This map is... I mean, any map that has a ramp is always going to be a little bit safer against something like a 12 pool. This is still a pretty wide ramp, but I know... Personally, I find it tricky to wall sometimes. I don't know why. It shouldn't be, but something about the top of the ramp makes it a little bit tricky to get the wall right 100% of the time. Maybe that just means I need to get good, though. So third base coming out to be right about on time. Is he going to get the block? Oh, he does block it for just a second at least. Doesn't throw it on the pylon or anything. I guess it wouldn't have lasted very long with 4 lings. Does end up losing the probe, which is a little unfortunate, but certainly not the end of the world. That third base timing was very, very normal. So ieLLiMo just going to bring this adept over here. Probably going to confirm that there's still drones being made. Confirm that there's still a third hatchery. Maybe going to try to snipe a drone. He does get one, and he's going to get out alive, so that's good value right there. We have the Stargate opening for ieLLiMo. Interested to see if he's going to play double Stargate, or if this is just to get a safe third base early. Oh, and I think that Adept ended up going down. No, it didn't. Okay. So the Adept shaded back in and got the second drone, and then actually managed to recall out. I thought I saw a green dot on the map get killed, but I don't know what I was looking at, I guess. But a good start by ieLLiMo. Getting 2 drones with the first Adept and getting out alive is about as good as you could possibly hope for, honestly. Against a 5k player, for sure. It is going to be an Oracle first, so this Overlord does get a full scout on everything, pretty much. Although I don't think he's seen the Twilight Council yet. But Twilight Forge after the third base is about as standard as possible. So now we do have a Void Ray on the way. Going to be able to clean up that Overlord, maybe find a couple more on the map. Oracle not being aggressive yet. I guess he's just staying in range in case there's a random surge of lings come across the map. Try to get a cancel on the third, but not going to be seeing that this game. Oh, Blink is a follow-up. I wonder if this means we're going to see Disruptors, possibly? I know that's a style Trap was playing. And maybe Zaun as well. Interesting to see, though. Void Ray is out. It did miss the... I guess he forgot this Overlord's up here, because he definitely saw it earlier. Still got drones and lair producing over here on the side of our Zerg. He feels pretty comfortable still. He really hasn't been harassed other than the little bit of Adept pressure. This Oracle could afford to be a little more active, but maybe he's just waiting for the second Oracle. And interesting, a lot of gateways. So I guess we're just gonna have like a committed blink attack. I don't want to call it an all-in yet, but well, yeah, now probably it's an all-in. Up to 10, I think that's 10 gates, and he stopped producing probes, so we're gonna see like a 10-gate blink all-in. Interesting. I've not seen that, but I have seen a lot of players try is going for like a fake third and doing a charge all-in behind it. The blink I'm not familiar with. It would probably end up being a better strategy against someone who's playing roaches than someone who's playing hydras. But we'll have to see. Interestingly, no fourth base for Kyboi yet. Up at 69 workers, no fourth hatchery. So just content right now to produce off of 69 drones. He's producing a lot of units, which is what he's going to need to defend this. I think Hydras are a really good choice against the massed soccer army, but a pretty nice Stasis Ward placed down there. We do have a lot of Stalkers. We're going to have to use a little bit of Blink Micro, and yeah, that's a little bit too scary of an army, so he's just going to back off from the initial engagement. Oracle's putting in quite a decent amount of damage, and that Blink Micro is actually really good. The Hydra count has gone all the way down to just 2. Still a lot of Queens alive. Going to be getting a lot of Transfuse energy. Looks like we're going into more of a Zergling, Baneling kind of defense here. Not sure if he really has the larva to get enough Zerglings out, but we'll see. This third base is under quite a bit of pressure. Zerglings coming in. The Blink Micro is still good so far. Not really anything taken down on the front. Slow Zealots being warped in, I guess just to help tank against the Zerglings. Baneling's kind of stuck in the back of this fight over here. Not really able to get past the Queens. This third base, I think, is going to go down pretty quickly. And yeah, this is kind of turning into a rout. There was a little bit of a run-by, which cleaned up 12 probes over here. But still going to be able to produce quite a few Stalkers at a time off of 2 bases. And he's going to get a few more probes to try to fill that back up. Could definitely use a cannon or something over here. Nice position at the top of the ramp for the Hydras, morphing in a few more Banes, but this kind of looks like an overwhelming amount of Protoss. He's basically doubled the army supply at this point. And the Blink Micro, still pretty good. A lot of low, kind of yellow-orange health Stalkers in this army. At this point, Kyboi does have a lot of resources banked up, but I think he just doesn't quite have the larva to get enough production to really clean up this attack. He's starting to pick off a few Stalkers, but an aggressive blink forward by ieLLiMo, and that is going to be GG. So an interesting game one there. I'm certainly not used to that strategy in particular. Could give 1 point to ieLLiMo there. Yeah, it kind of worked out better than I had expected. I think the 4th base was like very late for Kyboi, and I'm not really sure what he saw that made him wait so long. I feel like if he just had a few extra larvae, he had the right army comp to win that fight. Let me just let them know I'm ready whenever. I think he had the right army comp, and he knew 69 was a pretty good drone count to stop at and just start producing units. I mean, maybe 66 would have been just a tad better, but he just didn't have that 4th hatchery. And you could see by the end of the game he was banking up, you know, like 1,500 minerals, 800 gas. If you could turn that into units, it may well have been enough to hold. So, on to map number 2. Spawning in the bottom left corner of Jagannatha, playing for Alpha X, we do have our yellow Zerg, Kyboi. Spawning in the top right corner, playing as our green Protoss today for Platinum Heroes, he is ieLLiMo. So I feel like that's probably that strategy from last game out of ieLLiMo. Probably not going to use that exact same strategy again in the series. You may well see another kind of all-in from from Twilight Council tech, but probably not that exact one. So I feel like Kyboi, he's a good enough player. He has the tools. If you were to see that again, I think you'd probably be able to beat it. Or at least stand a better chance of beating it. So again, normal hatchery timing. Pool timing going to be normal. Nothing cheeky. ieLLiMo not opting to block hatchery either game. Which I'm not particularly surprised about, but just something to note. And yeah. Just got the standard opening for right now. This is a map, I feel like I tend to see more PVZs go to late game on this map. Like this map and Death Aura seem to be the ones where, personally, I've seen more kind of late game play. Probably this one a little bit less because it's, I don't know, it's not quite as easy to defend 3-4 bases on this one, but still your third base, if you place your army here, you've kind of got both your third base and your natural protected at the same time. And then the fourth base gets a little bit trickier, but it's not too bad. This is a pretty good map to see also like a queen walk or something, just because of the acceleration zones. So definitely something different out of ieLLiMo this game. He's going to go Robo first. So I'd like to actually see that end up being Disruptors or something fun like that, but I don't know if that's going to be his plan. Kyboi taking the forward third, which definitely kind of tickles your spider sense about possibly a queen walk, just because the queens are going to be just a little bit farther forward. You get the creep going a little bit farther forward. Good job hiding those lings for a second. Gonna try to pick off this adept, but he's a feisty one. He's fighting back. Good job saving the first drone. He's gonna lose one and probably another with a little bit of micro. No, chooses to recall instead. Ooh, he got out. So 2 Zerglings and a drone. Probe coming back in just to check things out. We do have Immortals first and no Robotics Bay. So I think this is probably going to be... Ooh, I changed my mind. I was thinking there was going to be like a Soul Train sort of Immortal timing. And it might still be, but I enjoy watching ieLLiMo because I feel like he's kind of playing his own style. I haven't seen many pros do, or any pros do this build in particular. Always fun to see something new. Maybe I'll steal it if it's good. So Roach is going to be the order of the day from Kyboi this game. He did not scout the main, so he really doesn't have an idea of what's going on inside there. Forge and Twilight Council after the third base. Very normal. So I wonder if that Roach Warren is going to be for that Queen walk like we were talking about, or maybe just more defensive play. Going up to 5 gas seems like a little bit much for an all-in, so I think this might be a more kind of defensive macro play. ieLLiMo getting a decent scout off. I'm not going to see the tech yet, and it doesn't look like he's going to find it before he loses this hallucination. So it doesn't exactly know what he's playing against. You'd almost think he knows what he's playing against because he has the roach killingest army I've ever seen a Protoss have early in the game. But that being said, actually barely any roaches out on the field so far, just having that option. Fourth base coming down, I think this is about like an entire minute quicker than last game, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's much more timely. So ieLLiMo happy to kind of give up all of his map presence that, you know, he could possibly have. I guess he's finally getting a Void Ray out here, but he's kind of been giving up map presence in favor of hiding his tech. And since Kyboi isn't scouting, you know, he's definitely getting away with that. So it looks like in the end, ieLLiMo's kind of just going to play Charge Lot Immortal Archon style and is adding in the Void Rays. I think I saw 2, yeah. But only 2. But maybe it's just good to have the Stargate as an option. Maybe good to have it as a little bit of a... oh, there's a third Void Ray. As a distraction. I think he pulled those Immortals back so they wouldn't be scouted. So there's a chance that Kyboi still doesn't know that there's Immortals on the field. A little bit of a supply block created by that, which is actually pretty dangerous considering the attack is moving out right now. There are swarm hosts out on the field, and they'll do well against this ground army, but Void Rays do pretty well against them if they can ever get on top of them. Warping in quite a few Zealots. Not sure if I love that idea because they're all going to get kind of destroyed immediately by this wave of Locusts. He needs to get the swarm hosts out of there. And he's going to save them all. I think all of the tech units have survived this first attack from ieLLiMo. Oh, and Kyboi's supply blocked again. There must have been another couple Overlords over here, but this is kind of turning into a problem. Having the 4 Void Rays is actually a pretty big deal when it comes to these Locust waves, because Locusts can't shoot up. So if you could just take out the Queens, there's no more anti-air here. 4th hatchery was taking quite a beating, but it looks like he is going to end up retreating from that. I think I might have liked to see the Void Rays just commit and take out that 4th hatchery. In the meantime, little Roach run by over here managed to take out pretty much the entire 3rd probe line. And all of a sudden, Kyboi's supply has kind of skyrocketed ahead quite a bit. He is going past that 66 drone mark now, so you know, definitely thinking about taking this a little bit later. Can't let these swarm hosts get caught too much. He does lose 1, but okay. There's really not any anti-air here other than the Biles, so these Void Rays have a good shot of actually cleaning this up, even though the supply is so one-sided. As long as he dodges the Biles, oh, he took 1. Still got all 4 Void Rays alive, though, and even a 5th on the way, so or a 5th here already. So I think he's going to be able to clean this up. He's not going to die to this, but he is definitely going to take some amount of damage. Again, losing the Zealots. Zealots kind of don't do so hot against well, pretty much no gateway units don't do so hot against Locusts. A little bit sloppy losing 1 Void Ray there, but he is able to pick off a decent amount of units. Hopefully to try to keep him in the game a little bit longer, but his supply is so low at this point. And my animals are attacking my computer setup, so I need to kick them out of the room. Sorry about that. Yeah, and I think at this point, even though the you know, roaches don't shoot up, swarm hosts don't shoot up, that's a lot of damage being taken. Is it enough to close out the game? I think it may well be. The supply is just double in the favor of Kyboi right now. Not getting much economic damage done, but he does take out a couple Void Rays again, and he's going to win that fight, yeah. So good job by Kyboi there. To even up the series 1-1. So that push from ieLLiMo looked really scary for a second when Kyboi didn't have any when he got supply blocks as those overlords were falling as he was walking across the map. as ieLLiMo was. I think maybe what ended up hurting ieLLiMo was in that first attack he ended up spending like 1,000 minerals or something on all those zealots, which just immediately died. And in the end, he got a little bit of damage done with the attack, but he didn't kill the 4th base. I think if he had managed to kill that 4th base and maybe had used his warp ends at home to just kind of get the army up, get a few units up without kind of immediately sacrificing them, I think he would have been in a better position to try to hold that. Swarm hosts. Oops, let me switch the scene here. Swarm hosts are always a problem. But with the number of Void Rays he had out, I think he maybe could have chased them down a little bit. Maybe he warped in a few defensive Archons next to shield batteries to just try to mitigate the damage. But anyways, we're on to Game 3. And Game 3 is on Submarine. Not one you see too often, but we are going to see it this game. Spawning in the top left corner of Submarine, playing for Alpha X, he is our yellow Zerg, Kyboi. Spawning in the bottom right corner of Submarine, playing for Platinum Heroes, he is our green Protoss, ieLLiMo. So a good series so far. I'm enjoying this one. I think it's the first one I've casted so far that's gone to Game 3. So that's always enjoyable. I was curious to see, since they let this one through, if maybe either player has a cheeky sort of strategy planned. I guess ieLLiMo's been a little bit cheeky on both games so far, with kind of not fully probing up that 3rd base and kind of having a really dedicated, strong push across the map. But nothing cheesy out of either player so far. A little bit of mineral harass going on from ieLLiMo. That's about as good as my mineral harass usually is. You know, go up and right-click on a mineral patch and accidentally forget and collect your first minerals immediately. So good job of being annoying on this probe, that's for sure. Oh. A little early for the 3rd base, but he does draw that probe out of position. Drone! Oh yeah, okay, drone survives. I think he was 2 hits away anyways. So, standard, no complaints. Going for the Stargate first again this time. I like the decision on this map just because it's so short. I'd like to see a Void Ray first just to help stay alive against any sort of kind of cheeky early cheese. Anything like that. Right there, that shade just counting drones, making sure he's still producing a decent number of them, not doing any sort of like fake 3rd base Ling flood, anything like that. So 2nd Adepts here, they're both going to shade in towards the natural. Going to get a few drones for sure. I think what you always hear the pros say is minimum of 3 is what you want. So he's got 4 so far, 5 so far. So you're definitely happy with trading 2 Adepts for 5 drones. It's super worth it. So yeah, already a 10 worker lead now for ieLLiMo. 3rd base coming down pretty early. I guess that's the one bad part about giving away your 2 Adepts. Will the Warp-In finish? No, Warp-In's not going to finish. I don't think he'll have to cancel this if he goes super fast with this Oracle. Ooh. So as good as the 5 worker kills were for ieLLiMo, this has been a definitely a good harass from Kyboi too. Managed to cancel 2 buildings, get an extra unit, get an extra probe, so definitely worth it for Kyboi. Punches traded early for these two. So going for double Oracle this time. Let's see how ieLLiMo's Oracle micro is. If it's hopefully better than mine, because mine is trash. Decent number of lings over here going to get in before the battery is down, but not wanting to take that fight. Ooh, are going to kill the probe, which is, again, not the end of the world, but annoying. Oracles are still here at home for now. Yeah, and all this little scuffling has let Kyboi manage to actually take the worker lead pretty quickly. So from being 10 down to 2 up, definitely like that. Again, these Oracles kind of being a little bit more defensive, not actually trying to get any harass done so far. We do have roaches on the way, as well as a baneling nest somewhere, right there. And again, the 4th base around 6 minutes, so pretty well not going to have the same issue as the first game. So get another gateway explosion for ieLLiMo, going up to a total of 8. It's got his charges +1 on the way, so it looks pretty similar to last game, except he's got the Oracles instead of the Void Rays this game. Getting a little tag off there, but there's nothing to be seen really, so I don't think he scouted the tech. I don't even know if he's seen a roach yet, actually. Very early 4th for the Protoss. Let's see if Kyboi feels like trying to punish that. The way he's moved his army kind of makes me think that's a definite yes. Army supply a little bit low for ieLLiMo here. I'm not sure. Yeah, he's just going to have to go ahead and cancel that. Felt a little ambitious at the time. We're going to have Storm this game, which will be a first for this series. Definitely very good against banelings. Ravager going to be picked off pretty quickly. He was in the wrong spot. But it does look like we have a Queen walk going on over here. So Queen Ravager all in off of 3 mining bases plus a 4th macro hatch, basically. Oracle's able to get in here, going to try to focus down a couple Ravagers. A little decent amount of the army for Protoss was caught outside of the range of the battery. Not choosing to overcharge that one yet. Queens are not here to protect the Ravagers, so they're going to be some decent kills. Oh, the Biles managed to take out both of the Oracles. That's a huge deal. In the meantime, the Zerglings have taken out pretty much this entire mineral line again. 3rd base mineral line's not an option for ieLLiMo this series. So pretty strong worker advantage taken by Kyboi, although he's still all in, not going to back off yet. I did see him making some spines somewhere, 4 spines. Yeah, just kind of a defensive in case there's going to be a zealot run by. Army supply evening up a little bit. And we do have a pretty strong, a lot of tech units coming out for ieLLiMo right now. So I think he may have survived the brunt of this attack. So Storm is finished. He does have a couple Templar that he's going to leave unmorphed. Again, I think this fourth base is going to go down, but I don't think that's necessarily the end of the world, because even though Zerg does have 4 bases, he's not fully mining from them or anything, so I think you can still play from this position as ieLLiMo. Getting some free damage done here. Maybe a little bit of focus fire could have helped kill an extra roach or two, but still decent damage done. So we do have +2 weapons done for the Protoss. There's going to be a decent window before +2 range end up being done for Kyboi. A couple Dropper Lords being made. I'm not sure about that one. So I wonder if that's going to be for harass or if that's going to be for like to drop Banes on the army. Looks like probably harass. Attempting to take another 4th base, would like to see a few static defenses placed down. Little fight in the middle, some Banelings went off. I didn't see what they hit, unfortunately. So a nice little run by with the roaches over here, going to be able to force a pull. Trying to get a cancel on this Nexus, but not going to happen. Lost mining time down here, but not any workers killed, or not more than 1 at least. So ieLLiMo is going to be able to deal with this, and for now he does keep his 4th base alive. Cannons, get a couple of cannons. So only 10 workers down and up an upgrade. It's a decent position for ieLLiMo. Losing these 2, that's 600 gas. Yeah, that's not great, but he does have Storm now, which will be pretty important in this battle. Oh no, not the Archon. Okay, he keeps that one alive. Good job. Great pull there. A couple storms could be massive here. Storming the Banelings are going to kill most of them before they connect. Some juicy storms on these Ravagers. And this army, oh no, the move command! Oh no! Oh! Wow! Okay, in the meantime, we do have a little roach drop over here. Gonna manage to kill a few probes, but that's definitely not gonna make up for the loss of that army. You can see he tried to right-click up and then right-click back to the base, and the units decided to path in front of there, which kind of got them all killed. Now that's exactly the sort of play ieLLiMo needs to feel comfortable in this game still. Because that means this 4th base is actually going to be able to get up and running without too much pressure for another minute or 2. Still would like to see some static defense here. But not opting for that yet. There are now Hydralisks out on the field. The Storm is already out to deal with them though, so... Ooh. A little bit scary pushing this far in on creep. Would maybe love to see an observer with this army. Just push some out. Decent amount of storms, and they're connecting very well right now. A lot of roaches being powered down by these 5 immortals pretty quickly. Good job morphing those spent... Well, good job morphing the spent Templar. Ooh! Biles hits the Templar right there. Not enough storm energy. Barely enough storm energy. Able to clean up this army. I think he could focus down this hatch if he wanted. In the meantime, there was a circling run by, which is going to pull all the workers there. 3 units as they come out of the hatchery, definitely a good thing. Is there going to be enough from Kyboi to clean this up? Supplies are pretty even, which is in favor of the Protoss. A couple immortals not being microed correctly. You're going to lose 1. The hatchery did go down. Now the Protoss needs to not lose all these expensive gas units kind of split up. But if he can, yeah, come in for the pincer, that is going to be good. Void Ray's getting, 17 kills on that Void Ray. There's just barely been any anti-air this game, so they've just been able to constantly be attacking from above. Decent number of Overlords here in trouble of going down. Won't supply block him, but he will have to remake those at some point if the game continues. Dangerous position, possible to be surrounded right here. Decent storm on the top right, but a little bit of a flank from the other side. Just not quite enough supply for Kyboi. Oh, not quite enough. He is finally getting the immortal count down. A very hero couple queens up there, able to take out a couple Void Rays. I think all the immortals are finally gone. Is he cleaning it up? Oh, it's so close. Yeah, that's not going to hit. These Void Rays have been... They've got so much damage done. A little bit of a kind of single file, losing a few units for ieLLiMo, which is not ideal. He is going to go home. Wow, that was so close. That was on a knife's edge. We do finally have a few more Hydras being added into the army, which is going to be important against Void Rays. Trying to take stock of where we're at. I like ieLLiMo's position just because he eliminated this base and is still not back up yet. Again, he did take some economic damage in the meantime, so it's not like his economy's just been pumping non-stop. And he did lose a lot of tech. But he does still have some Void Rays. He's got some Storms up here. Storms are going to be important against these Banelings and Hydras for sure. That's a bit of a whiff, unfortunate. Again, another little run-by over here. This actually could be in danger of losing this Nexus if he doesn't get over here fast enough. Kyboi kind of coming in, going to basically split off the army from this hatchery, or Nexus. It's going to survive, I think. Yeah, it does survive, but it's really low health. Oh, Zealots coming in from every angle, kind of trapping these units so they can't really go anywhere. Baneling's mostly getting killed by Storms and Void Rays. And again, kind of just trapped up against the wall. Kyboi's going to lose his entire army. Oh no. And now the army supply heavily in favor of ieLLiMo. I think he got a little aggressive off creep, and just the way those Zealots came in and surrounded everything right there. He lost everything, lost his whole army. And look at this, there's so many tech units left over for Protoss. I think this may well be a march to victory. ieLLiMo doesn't know about this hatchery down here. But at this point, I don't think it matters. I don't think... again, a couple tech units off on their own, getting caught a little bit, but the Void Ray count has gotten back up to 4 just over time. Oh, I like that, recalling a single, just a single Archon. So there's no Prism with this attack, but the amount of gas in this Protoss army is just far higher than that of the Zergs. Zealots kind of being dealt with by Spines up in the top right. The rest of this army is just zoning out what the Zerg has. And thought maybe he was going to commit enough Zealots to kill this, but hasn't yet. He knows he has the army advantage at this point. I think really the only way ieLLiMo could lose this is maybe some just godly files that killed all the tech units at once, sort of thing. But no, the Storms are good. There's just not enough here from Zerg, and I think we're probably about to see the GG from Kyboi. Any second now. A little bit off on that prediction, but yeah, this was a really fun series. This third game in particular, really on our knife's edge at a couple points, and some big oh wow moments. So Kyboi going to try to play it out. He definitely can't fault him for that, because it is his yeah. It's a tournament game. So ieLLiMo taking the series 2-1. Very impressive. Putting himself in a really good spot to make it out of this group. Kyboi not eliminated yet. He's 1-1. So I think, yeah, he's got one more series against Franz. So if he's able to take that, he'll be at 2-1. I think at that point his destiny's not in his own hands necessarily, but still has a pretty decent shot. So, yeah, hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time.